Imagine this. It's payday. You finally got a little extra cash in your account, and you tell yourself, all right, I'm going to start saving this time. But 3 days later, it's gone. Maybe it went to a night out, maybe to takeout, maybe just random small purchases you didn't even think about. And suddenly, your savings goal feels impossible. Sound familiar? That struggle to save your first $2,500 isn't because you're lazy or irresponsible. Here's the thing. It's actually harder than the next $10,000 you'll save, and most people don't realize why. Today, we're going to break down exactly why your first $2,500 is the hardest step to wealth, both mathematically and psychologically, and more importantly, how to finally push past that barrier and start building real financial momentum.
My name is Jay, and I spend way too much time thinking about how people can finally make money work for them instead of against them. If you're someone who struggles to save money, constantly feels like you're living paycheck to paycheck, or just can't seem to hit your first real milestone, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Look, I'm not here to make you feel guilty about your spending habits. I'm here to show you exactly why it feels impossible to save your first $2,500 and what to do about it.
Here's what most people don't realize. Your first $2,500 is difficult because it's not just money, it's a mindset barrier. Let's talk numbers. According to a 2022 Federal Reserve study, almost 40% of Americans would struggle to come up with $400 in an emergency. Think about that. That's just $400, and many people have zero savings beyond that. Now imagine trying to save $2,500. That's over 6 months' worth of those small emergency amounts. Here's the kicker. Once you pass $2,500, psychologically it starts to feel like you can do it. There's a sense of momentum. But getting there, that's where the hardest mental and behavioral battles happen.
Part 2. The math behind the struggle. Let's do some simple math. Suppose you make $3,500 a month. If you try to save $2,500, that's roughly 70% of your monthly income. No, you're not saving all at once, but let's break it down. Save $250 per month. It takes 10 months to reach $2,500. Save $500 per month. It takes 5 months. Now here's where it gets really interesting, the psychology of pain. Early on, you feel every dollar leaving your hand much more acutely. $10 spent feels like a big deal when your savings are at $0. That's why many people give up in month 2 or 3. Contrast that with saving your next $10,000. Once you're past the $2,500 mark, your brain has already adapted. You've seen the account grow. You've built confidence, and suddenly $50 or $100 seems like a small price for future freedom. Part 3. The psychology of the first milestone. Here's what most people don't realize. Saving money is mostly a psychological battle. Your brain is wired for immediate gratification. That extra $20 at Starbucks feels better than $20 in your savings account that you'll barely notice for months. Behavioral economists call this the hyperbolic discounting effect. Now combine that with the scarcity mindset. If you've never had savings before, every small expense feels urgent. You might think, I can't save $50 because I might need it for something else. That mindset keeps you from making progress. And here's the part most people never hear. This is normal. It's biology, not a personal failing. Part 4. Why small wins matter. Let me give you a story. One of my friends, Sarah, was living paycheck to paycheck. She wanted to save $2,500, but felt it was impossible. I told her, start with $100. She laughed. $100? That's nothing. Exactly. That's the point. Saving small amounts trains your brain to see progress. Once she hit $1,000, the next $1,500 felt easier. By the time she hit $2,500, she already had habits in place. automatic transfers, mindful spending, and small daily discipline. Here's the truth. Your first $2,500 isn't just about money. It's about building the system that will let you save everything else faster. All right, now let's get practical. Here's exactly what you can do today to hit your first $2,500. Step 1. Automate your savings. Set up an automatic transfer, even $50 a week. Out of sight, out of mind. Your brain doesn't fight with you as much when you don't have to make a decision. Step 2. Track every dollar. Use a simple spreadsheet or an app. Seeing your savings number rise, even slowly, triggers the dopamine reward your brain craves. Step 3. Treat your first $100 or $500 as a psychological milestone. Celebrate it. Frame it as proof that you can do this. Once you've achieved that, your brain starts to believe it's possible. Step 4. Cut small leaks. Look at recurring subscriptions, impulse buys, coffee runs. $10 to $20 a day adds up quickly. Eliminating just $15 a day is $450 a month, almost a fifth of your first $2,500.
Part 6. The surprising math that motivates. Here's what most people don't realize. Once you hit $2,500, your compound growth becomes exponential. Let me show you. Start with $2,500. Add $500 a month. Assume a conservative 6% annual return from investing. In 5 years, that $2,500 grows to over $36,000. Your first $2,500 literally becomes the seed for tens of thousands down the line. Now, if you didn't save that first $2,500, all that potential never happens. That's why it's the hardest step. It's a psychological and financial gatekeeper.
Part 7. Overcoming objections. Now, you might be thinking, Jay, I don't even make enough to save $50 a week, let alone $2,500. Look, I get it. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Even saving $10 a week adds up to $520 a year. That's already a fifth of your $2,500 target. Then increase it slowly. The key is start small and scale. Or maybe you're thinking, but I have debt. I can't save yet. Here's the interesting part. Saving even a small emergency fund while paying debt actually works better psychologically. It reduces stress, prevents new high-interest debt, and trains your brain to handle money responsibly. Part 8. The mental shift that changes everything. Here's where it gets really interesting. Saving your first $2,500 is less about money and more about identity. Once you've proven to yourself that you can save consistently, your brain starts to identify you as a saver. You make smarter choices automatically. You resist small temptations. You start thinking in financial milestones, not just daily expenses. This is the invisible advantage the wealthy have. They didn't get rich overnight. They built habits and overcame the first mental barriers, $1 at a time. Part 9. Putting it all together. Let's recap. Your first $2,500 is the hardest step because of psychology, hyperbolic discounting, and scarcity mindset. Start small. Celebrate milestones. Automate. Track progress. Cut leaks. Visualize. Once you hit $2,500, the momentum accelerates. Your habits are in place, and compound growth starts working for you. The first $2,500 isn't just money, it's a proof of capability. It transforms how you think about money forever. So if you're struggling to save, don't beat yourself up. Focus on building the system, not the exact number at first. Treat $100, $500, and $1,000 as wins on the way to that first $2,500. Your future self will thank you. Because here's the truth, your first $2,500 is literally the hardest step. But once you take it, the path to real wealth suddenly becomes much clearer. If this helped you, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And comment below, what's your first milestone? $100? $500? $2,500? I want to hear where you're starting. Remember, start small, stay consistent, and watch your financial life change. I'm Jay, and I'll see you in the next video where we break down your next financial milestone, the one after 2,500, that actually changes your life.